Good morning. Day 14 is starting. It's almost 7 o'clock in the morning. This was our campsite last night. We just got done breaking down the tent. You probably can't tell from the angle, but it's a pretty uneven spot. You just got to kind of make do. One thing about this section, all the way from the Pyramids up to Whiteface, and then over here to near the base of Passaconaway, the woods are really thick and gnarly, not very open, and not level. This was like one of the most workable spots I could find last night, and it was fine. With the air mattress, you make do. You kind of lean to one side of the tent, but still had a great night's sleep. I'm a little congested this morning, but that'll pass once I get going. So, one of the things I'm doing this morning that I haven't had to do, and this is my bladder. It's the old school Osprey one. I think they make a different model now. So this one still has some life in it, but I have about a half ounce or a half liter of water left, which is no surprise for hiking, when it's 70 degrees. I have one full 1.5 liter smart water, and what I do is, if it's dirty water, I just have a plain white cap on it, and if it's filtered, I put the smart water cap on it. It actually says smart water on the cap. So that's my system for knowing if this is clean or dirty. And generally it's going to be dirty water in here. And what some folks will do, especially when you can screw this right on the top of this and drink it right from it. That's great, but the design of the Osprey pack I'm using doesn't easily let me pull out the smart water bottles like you'll see a lot of thru hikers using the Southwest 3400 and similar packs where there really isn't any compartments, and it's much easier to pull out water bottles from the side. I could definitely get Nalgene bottles out of the side from this one, but there's no way the smart water bottles are coming out with a full pack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty all that untreated water into my CNOC hydration bladder, and then filter it into the Osprey, and that'll be probably almost 2 liters of water, and that's plenty, because once we get up the top of Passaconaway and start making our way down, we're going to hit plenty of water sources, so I'm not worried about that. But that was the thing yesterday. Am I going to be carrying 6 liters of water to start? And the answer was yes, I am, because I just didn't know what, if any, water would be available up here. I kind of had a suspicion with snowmelt there would be opportunities to get some, and there certainly was heading up to Whiteface, about a half mile before the summit. I think I mentioned yesterday there was plenty of snowmelt. In fact, one section of the trail was pretty much a running brook, and I could have definitely loaded up on water there, but what if it wasn't? And then it's not the worst situation, but it's not great. I can't have freeze-dried meal. I can't have a hot beverage in the morning as I'm kind of getting going. So, and the weight, really, it's not that bad. I mean, that's the one great thing about the Osprey, why I have been using the Osprey, is just the support it gives. I never have back problems with the Osprey. Sometimes my shoulders will get a little sore the first day or two of a real heavy pack, and then even that, your body adjusts. And I think the Osprey's just real good at making a heavy load quote unquote comfortable. So that's what we're doing this morning. We'll probably be here another half hour or so, getting packed up. The way it looks, there's 2 different trails going up to Passaconaway. The first trail is right at the trail junction where it's about a mile up and down. But if I could just continue, if I bypass that and continue another half mile, there's another trail going up, again about a mile. So that's what I'm probably going to do. I'll bypass the first way up, get that extra half mile for where we're headed afterwards under my belt, drop the pack, and then head up to the summit. So we'll check in later. Hello friends, day 14 update, Friday the 13th. We are on the top of Mount Passaconaway and we're looking north. Way back in the background there, you may be able to see the snow-capped Mount Washington in our future. I'm thinking, looking at the map, this is probably going to be the longest distance between peaks. Maybe not, but it seems like it. Our next peak is Carrigan, and we've got quite a bit of lower elevation hiking to do to get there. So we'll see how far we get today. Feeling good and warming up. Gonna have a little breakfast on the summit here. It's already mighty warm out, so I think it's gonna be another hot one today, especially as we start losing elevation. Coming up to the summit, I brought the micro spikes with me but didn't need them, so it's all clear as far as that goes. That's it for now. I'm curious if we're going to see any more real, I don't want to jinx myself, any more real post holing anywhere. You know, the miserable post holing. I'm hoping maybe that's behind us. It's good to have hope. So we'll see, but we'll keep you updated on that. Anyway, that's it for now, and we'll check in later. Hello friends, day 14 update. Right, day 14, yeah. It's Friday. It's about 9:30 in the morning. We're at the trail junction for the Square Ledge Trail and the Passaconaway Cutoff, making our way down back to the Kankamangas Highway. Now the lighting isn't perfect, but way up there, that's where we were earlier this morning on the summit of Mount Passaconaway. And we're on our way down. Feeling good, but feeling a little sluggish this morning. I don't know if it's just the heavy pack going downhill. It sounds counterintuitive, but I prefer going up with a heavy pack. It just is easier on all the joints on the legs. But you know, I'm just taking my time going down. It really hasn't been steep or rocky, just, you know, watching your footing. The good thing is feet are staying relatively dry. It's been a relatively dry section of trail, very little snow. I don't expect to see any snow for a while now, which is nice. Might see some mud, but it's still spring. That's it for now. We're going to keep making our way down, and we will check in later. Hello friends, day 14 update. We are on the Oliverian Brook Trail. We're running low on water. It's a hot one. We're probably only about a quarter mile from the Kankamangas Highway. So this was a nice little shady spot where I could refill my hydration bladder. And I think I'm gonna have a little shot of tailwind just because I'm feeling a little sluggish today. But I had to share this with you. So when I was filling up my Osprey, I forgot to attach the filter. So I basically just took water from the brook, unfiltered, and threw it in my Osprey hydration pack. Took a sip from that hydration pack and then realized, oh shit, I forgot the filter. So dumped it out, did the whole thing over again, and now we're good. And hopefully that one little sip of untreated water won't come back to haunt me. To be determined. So it's hard to believe, like 3 years ago now, I did a one-day Pemi loop with a friend, well, actually my wife's friend, Sarah's friend, Nikki, and I did a one-day Pemi loop. And We had gone the normal route, so started at Flume, went over Lincoln Lafayette, over Garfield, and at Galehead Hut it was probably like 4 in the afternoon. We did it on July 4th, and I was really feeling a little zonked. We weren't really going fast, we were going pretty much at a comfortable pace. Nikki was definitely a little faster than me, but feeling a little zonked, and she had Tailwind in her pack and offered me one, and it really made a difference. And I rarely have to use it, but you know, this is day 14 in a row. It's been hot the past 3 days, and I'm feeling like I could use some more electrolytes and whatever other goodies are in there. So I highly recommend this stuff. I know all the ultra runners use this or variations of it. By the way, all the things I talk about product-wise, obviously not a sponsor. Just stuff that I really like using, tried and true and tested stuff. And this is definitely something that I highly recommend, just to throw 1 or 2 in your pack, just in case you have one of those days where you're like low on energy or you're just having a hard time getting going. This can really give you a nice boost. Now normally I would put this whole thing in an Nalgene bottle, but I'm not going to do that this time. I basically have my coffee mug, which is 2 cups, so 32 ounces. So I think I'll do something like a half pack of Tailwind in there, gobble that down, and then save the rest for later. That's our update. We're going to be doing some road walking soon, and we'll touch base later. Hey, what's up, guys and gals and others? Day 14. We're at the Sawyer Pond campsite. It was so hot today, especially at lower elevation. Every time I checked my Garmin temperature, it was 90 degrees. So even though we weren't really climbing a whole bunch, it was just very hot. So initially I thought I might go a little further and actually camp close to the Carrigan, like off the Signal Ridge trail, but that's not happening. Actually still got over 13 miles in today, so not like we did a half day or anything. It is a gorgeous day. There's a huge pond that way. I'll show you guys later. Just slowly going to get camp situated here, have some more Tailwind, and just kind of relax. That's it for now. Hello, friends. Day 14. It's probably around 4:30, 5 in the afternoon. I could look at my phone, but it's close enough. So this is Sawyer Pond. Pretty cool. I've actually I spent a lot of time in the Whites, but I've never actually spent any time here. So this is a really cool spot. There's a shelter and I think 6 tent platforms, so we snagged a tent platform. We just got a bunch of water. We're going to have some more Tailwind, and we're just going to relax. I do have to say, now that we're in the shade, it's much more comfortable. Probably 15 degrees cooler, which is really nice when it's 90 out. So that's it for now. We'll check in later. Hello, friends. Day 14 recap. We're at the Sawyer. Whoops. See, that's why you keep the lid on top, so when it spills over, nothing comes out. We learned that lesson the hard way. This is actually the first night we're chilling outside the tent. We have a nice wooden tent platform. There are folks here at the campsite enjoying the weather. Some folks are fishing. Just a neat little spot out here. Of course, I came in the long way through the Kank, and there's a shorter way to come in. We'll be heading out that way tomorrow, staying on this trail, and then linking up with Signal Ridge for Carrigan. But just went through the maps and counted and double checked. And with our summit of Passaconaway today, we're at 26. 26. I knew these few days we wouldn't be getting multiple peaks in, most likely. So I even thought we may have a dry spell today where we didn't get any, or tomorrow. But it looks like we're going to be able to at least get one a day, which is nice for morale. It was so hot earlier today. So hot, and I'm fine with the hot. Just wasn't expecting it. Just such a wild, crazy change in temperatures. Yeah, that's spring in the White Mountains, I guess, right? I'm definitely used to the desert hot out west and dealing with that, but you're kind of used to it. You know what you're getting into. And just because it was so cold our first week out here and most of the second week, what a change. It happened so quickly. 90 degrees today? Wow. So just adapting and adjusting to that. I think the tailwind really helped me out today because we weren't doing any big climbs or big descents. But just that walk in to this campsite from the Kank, it was, I forget, 4 or 5 miles, something like that, but pretty flat, which normally wouldn't be a big deal. And I was just struggling a little bit. So yeah, other than that, now that it's cooled down a bit and we're in the shade, definitely have more of an appetite back. I have been like forcing myself, especially on a hot day, you kind of have to, at least for me, force myself to keep snacking, because real good at keeping the H2O coming, but also you got to give yourself some calories, right? Which is hard for me to do when I'm really hot, but you just got to make yourself eat just a little something. So yeah, tomorrow's another great day. It's a Saturday. I expect to see a bunch of folks on the trail going for Carrigan. Now, interestingly, I forget what day we were coming down South Twin, but when I may have mentioned this, I forget. When I was coming down South Twin, there was a guy from Vermont who's moving to Arizona who was coming up South Twin, and we were kind of talking because he had Las Sportivas, the same shoes I'm wearing, the Wildcats, and he also had the Ultra Raptors. So we were talking about the pros and cons of each, and just man crushing on La Sportiva, basically, I guess. But he was doing some kind of Waterville Valley loop that sounded interesting. I didn't get into the details of exactly what he was doing, but he did summit Carrigan, and he did go down Desolation, which we are going to do tomorrow if everything goes according to plan. And he was saying he was post-holing down Desolation, up to his waist, just really bad post-holing until he got down far enough. I'm hoping with the warmer temperatures and maybe some traffic going up or down Desolation since he was there, it won't be as bad for us. Overall, I'd say the past 2 days, maybe even 3 days, it really hasn't been as bad snow post-holing wise. There's been more of a monorail and just less snow overall. So we'll see what happens once we're back up. And we're going to go up Carrigan, we're going to be back down again at lower elevation, because then we got to go across Shoal Pond, hook up with Ethan Pond. We'll be back on the AT, and we'll be going to another hut, Zealand Falls Hut. And from there, we've got quite a bit. I think it's like a 2.5 mile one way to Mount Hale and back. So that's like a 5 mile trip just from the hut. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out, how that all goes time-wise, and how we're feeling. And we'll eventually make our way down to Crawford Notch and the Highland Center with a few more peaks that are out and back. And don't let me forget Mount Wiley, because I hadn't highlighted it on my big map of my route. And Can you imagine if I did all this and I forgot to tag Wiley? That would be devastating. So I got to keep reminding myself, even though I don't have a pen or anything to like mark it on my printed out maps. I just have like a printed out map with the highlighted route in orange. I mean, obviously I have all the other stuff, the electronic stuff, but for whatever reason, I didn't like take that little line and go from Field to Wiley. So I got to make sure that I don't do that when I'm hiking. That'll be a very sad time at Cabot when I'm counting and I only have 47. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, we're going to chill. I've got a north side heating up in the bag, and I'm going to have a full meal after that. It'll be a little noisier here at camp tonight, but I really don't care. I usually don't have a problem falling asleep. It's a little noise is fine. A little human interaction is fine. So with that, we're going to sign off, and we'll see you tomorrow, Saturday. It'll be our 3rd Saturday out here. Wow. It's hard to believe that 2 Saturdays ago we were starting this on Mount Musalaki, and Saturday number 3 is coming up tomorrow. So stay tuned.